Hi, Evan Pantazi. Today I wanted to talk about iron shirt, iron vest technique. Now I have a video out on it and I described it quite a bit. What I want to do is get people away from the idea that this is like a Chi Gong or a Chi type of a protection. What it is if you use the Sanchin especially, but other katas like Nahanchi, Seiyuch, and many others, they work with body constriction. Now, body constriction by itself, you tighten a muscle, it doesn't fully protect the internal organs or structures. What you need to do is work with the bone structure as your best defense because it's hardened, it's a hard material. Also the fascia, the tendons, and the muscles, along with pulling organs or vital structures away from the surface or away from the attack. And how that's accomplished is basically with constriction. Okay, say you're constricting your abdominal structure and more on your side obliques than abdominal. Well, let's go for the abdominals first. The abdominals, you're going to tighten the muscles, you're going to tighten the fascia. What you're going to also do is you're going to hunker down the body so it's in a contracted state, pulling the organs away from the surface and more toward the back of the body. So that's a protection of a couple different systems. It also compresses the skin, which gives you or some people a lot more protection, but some people a little bit more protection as the fatty tissue covers the musculature and the fascia, and also the organs pulled away. Now on the side obliques as an example, if you're being struck in the rib cage, by compressing those muscles and fascia and tendons that connect, what you're doing is you're pulling the bones together also. So not only do you have all the protective structures such as the that were in the abdominal description I just gave, but you're also working with the bones, the ribs coming closer together, forming a harder, more impenetrable surface. So this type of idea is what's in the iron shirt, iron vest. Now you can do this all over your body with varying degrees of accomplishment or success. Depends on the power of the person, the intelligence of the person, whether they know the Kyusho, whether they know the iron shirt or not, that's attacking you, because everything can be overridden, because wherever you make a strength, you have to make a concurrent weakness in the body. As an example, you can't have antagonistic muscle groups tightened at the same time. Now this is what the Sanchin attempts to do, but it works more on the fascia tendon level than the musculature. But again, you don't want to try to protect yourself all over the body unless you, of course, you're on the ground being kicked by multiple opponents, or you're in a multiple opponent situation. So again, this the iron vest, the iron shirt can all be explained by normal physiology and functionality of the human body, and how we as martial artists learn to strengthen it, fortify it, and get it into position or get it into an enactment instantly in a combative situation. And that's what the Sanchin and all these other katas do for us. There's also other things like the crossings that I worked on in my tape, where you cross limbs. Now you have the right brain that controls the left side of your body, left brain controls the right side of your body. Now when you cross temporarily, the brain is confused. It works on both firings of the somatic and the autonomic system, or the conscious and the subconscious, and it gives you more of a protection throughout. So there's another one that seems to be more metaphysical in nature, but it's actually very physical in nature, and it's just our makeup. It's our anatomy, it's our physiology, and it's the way we function as human beings. So again, don't look to the Chi Gong for your answers in Kyusho at all, or some of the other martial sciences. It's purely physical. The old guys knew it. They didn't write about pressure points. They didn't write about Chi Gong. They wrote about real anatomical structure, real anatomical dysfunction, and real situations with the inner body. So look to those old records and take them for their word. Now, the same thing as we just discussed with the gallbladder 31 and rolling the hips to protect the outer aspect of the leg, it also protects the inner aspect of the leg. Halfway between the hip and the knee, on the inside of the leg at a 45-degree angle, you have a point called spleen number 11. Okay? Now, spleen number 11 is a pretty weak area. Okay? Now, if you just get in a good stance, or however you want to protect that leg, okay, this one's forward, so I'll attack this. I can still get past that. Okay, there's no problem for it because, again, you're only tightening the muscle mass. What has to happen, once again, is the body rolls. And as you roll the hips forward and you feel the outer fascia tighten, you'll also feel the inner fascia tighten. Now, when you're also constricting, or not constricting the muscles, as you constrict the muscles, what happens is the muscles pull and it forms a weakness in that nerve because the nerve gets stretched a little bit. What you want to do is you want to pull the nerve in, recess it, and stretch out the muscles and the tendons so they get firm, they get strong, okay, but the nerve is more recessed. Same thing in here. There's no muscle group in through here. You have a split right where the femoral artery and the femoral nerve come closest to the surface of the leg. Now, if you roll the hips, just go into a foot forward stance and just roll the hips, okay, you're going to see that that has a lot of strength to it. If he's just standing there and I do this, though, you can see you can drop that leg right out. Sorry. All right, so again, that same rolling action, it recesses the nerve away from the muscles so it's in deeper. It makes the muscles tense and long and strong, which makes it even stronger, okay? Because as you bunch two muscles together by trying to make them strong, that bunching forms that big groove in the middle, that big space. Okay, by pulling the muscles tighter, you actually seal them together more so that nerve is protected more. So the same action for the outer legs is the same action for the inner legs. Same action for the stomach. Same action for the pectoral muscles. It's just a little bit different when we get to the side and we do the compression on the side. Let me show you another physical aspect on the legs. If you could turn your legs, sir. On the back of the calf, as you've seen in video number 5, okay, I go over 3 pressure points in the back of the calf. I don't want to expound on that right now. I want to expound on protecting the nerve and back there. Now, if I strike into the back of the calf with this, you'll see that there's physical dysfunction and pain. Okay? Now, tighten your legs. Okay, actually compress your this way. If he compresses that muscle and I kick in, I still have physical dysfunction and pain. Again, the stance, that pulling, go into that sanchin and pull. Okay? Now, with that attitude, there's pain because I'm kicking his leg. He still has nerves on the outside that are getting the reception. But I'm not reaching that inner nerve that causes that dysfunction. Pain you can deal with. Dysfunction you can't do anything about. So learning just that stance, you see that the whole leg is absolutely protected. So when you're doing the motions of sanchin or just doing some training and taking hits in your kickboxing classes, someone comes in with a round kick, instead of strengthening the leg or trying to move into the technique, all you have to do is roll the pelvis forward. The whole leg is protected, and you got a significant amount of protection for the nerves so it won't dysfunction the leg. All right? Thank you, sir. Now, I mentioned in the introduction there's always ways to override the iron shirt. And as I take you through the physical levels and the more metaphysical, more internal energy aspects, we're going to show you overrides for each one. Okay? Now, on the stomach, okay, just tighten the stomach, we noticed that we couldn't affect the person, okay? But a Kyusho shot, okay, can actually get in, okay? Now, tighten the muscle the sanchin way, okay? He's done the roll. Even with that, I can't get through now. But if I do a double pump, if I do a double pump with that, what happens is on the first impact, the body thinks, okay, everything is clear, okay? And as the body's impacted, it feels that shock. It has to, by reflexive action and involuntary body reaction, it has to release a little bit, All right. So as that, tighten up again. Okay. Yeah, Sanshin. Okay. As I go into this, if I double pump it, you're going to start to see that the body gets a lot weaker. Because what happens is the body was tight, it was ready for the action. When the body relaxes, the nerves and the muscles, what it does is it's almost like it's inviting new feeling in. All right, so when I shoot the second one in, you saw that there was a much bigger reaction the second time around. So to override the body curling of the stomach, all you need to do is go in with a double strike. And in some kata, you see that double motion. Okay, so these secrets have been out there for a long period of time. It's just nobody has deciphered them for us yet. All right, so to get past the stomach, just a quick double pump will do it. Now, one thing I want you to do is go back on that last technique of the double pumping into the stomach, okay, and notice one thing. Go in slow motion. When I hit the person and I got past or I overrode his iron shirt technique, you'll see that the body didn't fall. He ended up on the ground, but he didn't fall. You'll see his knees came up off the ground, and then he descended because he had no support under him. That means I got the nerve. If I had just hit him and he had fallen, you could have said, okay, he just lost balance, he got pushed over. But when you watch the video, watch it in slow motion, you'll see the knees come up. Okay? When that happens, you notice that the body contracts all at once because I've accessed the nervous system. All right, this time we're going to do it on the upper chest. Okay? We had pointed out a point called stomach 15, that if I hit into it, you see that there's physical dysfunction. Makes it harder for the person to breathe as well. And as he does the Sanshin roll, okay, you can see that there's nothing going on, he's protected. But to override, you'll start to see that there's action going on. Now, I didn't hit him that hard, and I did roll him off balance, so let me go in with a hammer fist so it clarifies that. So, Sanshin roll again. Okay, you can start to see, boom, that when you drop into it, you'll have that effect. Okay, okay. On this man, we got the side point, the spleen 21. Okay, and we found out that if we hit blunt, he can protect against that a little bit, tighten up a little. I can still get past that with my Kyusho strike. Now roll in like Sanshin, okay? That's hard to get in and past. But again, that double action, roll in, you'll start to see that you can still get into the body. Now bear in mind, I'm just doing light little taps. Okay, how I could get past that in a fight is maybe double strike. Okay, and you can start to see that that quick reaction, that will get the person disrupted, and that will blow the protection away, and you get back into the nerve again because everything relaxes, the ribs open up again, and it's easy to get back into the point. Now, you're having difficulty breathing a little bit? Yeah. Okay. Again, go back to tape number 1 and go back through some of the tapes, and you'll see some of these recipes for helping the person gain back their breath. It's important that way you keep your training partners around. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Now we're going to go back through all these techniques again because I showed you how to protect the best way with the muscle structures and the postures of Sanshin. What we're going to do now is I'm going to show you all the disruptions, and the same technique works all over the body, how to get past that protective device, because there's always a way to override anything. Now on this individual, what we did was we attacked in the higher ribs right up and through here. Okay, and remember I said one side's lungs, one side's heart. Now you'll notice that I'm punching him on the heart side. He's not dead yet, okay? Again, you have to take some of the stuff that you read in magazines and see in other videos and really weigh it, okay? And if someone says, oh, this is a death strike, you just got to ask yourself, how does that guy know? Did he kill someone with it? If they haven't killed someone with it, then how do you know, okay? You notice he didn't die, even though I'm hitting his heart side. So weigh everything carefully, okay? And do it logically, too. You don't want to haul off to check it out, okay? Now, he had the protection on his back. Before he had protection, if I just pushed in, there's a disruption because I'm striking a spinal nerve. Again, the spinal nerves are in between the ribs that come from the vertebrae, okay? And I'm able to access a knuckle right in between there, okay? So the knuckle actually rubs the nerve and strikes the nerve rather than just hitting on the surface of the ribs. Now, as he went into the Sanshin protection, you'll see that there's a lot of protection right there. Now, if I double pump it, okay, and that was just with 2 pushes. That wasn't with the double strike. Okay, you can see that I can get past that because the first pulse in, the body will restrict more. Okay, it's a natural reflexive action, but as soon as it reflexes to tighten, it has to reflex to open. And it's that opportunity where I can get in and attack the body. Now, what's interesting about this is if I've done it on this one side, you know it works because you've just seen it a couple times, okay? But it actually works to weaken the whole back. So if he goes into Sanchin, okay, and I tighten one, I can still attack the other side because that whole rib structure, okay, that one I attacked his lung. The last part was on the lung, as I mentioned earlier in the tape, that area. Okay, as you attack both sides, or that one area, the whole area tightens and loosens, okay, because the body moves in synergistic pieces. Okay, one piece will tighten all together. It's not one muscle group you can isolate unless you've spent a lot of time like a yogi on doing just that, all right? But in modern times, we don't have that kind of time. So by learning to tighten the whole area, you're protecting that whole area, but you got to bear in mind what tightens together, loosens together at the same time. So again, I wouldn't have to go in with just this one double punch. I could have come in with 2 shots and get the same effect. Okay, thank you. Now, on ASA here, what I did was I hit the bladder 23s. And again, just to recap for you, because it was early on, is if you push that nerve, the nerve that goes down into the leg to support the leg muscles is stopped. It stops sending energy to the muscles to cause that support. As he tightens in the Sanchin, though, okay, working the correct way, you're going to notice that there's good protection. But if I... You okay? You'll notice that it gives way. Because again, that first attack loosens it, the body tightens restrictively on impact, and it's protected. But as soon as that reflexive action tightens, it also reflexively loosens, enabling the second punch to go in and cause effect. Okay. Thank you. So that's protection for your bladder 23. It's an override for your bladder 23. Okay. As we showed before on Mike, I was using his gallbladder 31. With a light tap, you can see that his leg doesn't like that. Okay. Now go into the Sanchin roll, please. You're going to start to see that he's built up that base and that restructuring of the body and recessing of the nerve. Now to get past that, roll in tight. If I go in for the double strike on that, not that I would use one knee, I might come bam into a secondary knee, or I might punch elbow, okay, combination. So you can see different techniques can work in this area. But you'll see that he had a much more dramatic effect the second time. Because when you're protecting here, okay, and you get into that nerve, okay, that's one thing. But when you double strike it, you'll see there's more reaction because the body again relaxes. Once it relaxes, it's almost like it's saying, okay, what's out there to feel? And it's letting neurological impulse out, or in, excuse me. And it was blocking before, it lets it in now, so the message goes in deeper. Okay, Asa on the last technique was just telling me off camera that the secondary strike when I went in to disrupt and override his protective systems, it felt like a hot knife going through. Okay, Zavi on the other one said there was like a pin going through. And it's that energy that's being allowed in that lets that message transmit easier. So again, double striking the area will help get past the tensed muscles and the body protection of the iron shirt. All right, we're going to go to the inner aspects of the legs now. We had the spleen number 11 with Zavi. Okay, and you notice that when I attacked that, he had a problem with that issue. Okay, that's because the leg is relaxed, the nerve is just there. I can get deep into the tissue and stretch that nerve and compress it against the bone quite easily. Okay, as you go into Sanchin stance, okay, you'll notice that there's no dysfunction. Okay, there's pain, there's physical moving of the body, but there's no physical dysfunction. Now, could you go into that Sanchin stance again? Okay, if I double strike it, you can start to see that again I got past that. Now I could have gone into a rapid kick. I had 2 front kicks, okay? And some of you have seen a video earlier where I worked with a man where I just did 2 quick front kicks and I took out the third leg, okay? And that caused unconsciousness because that first one makes the body tense and it's protected, but it's that second, third one that the body receives and takes in. So again, the quick action, whether it be with 2 fists, I'm just doing that for clarity of motion for the camera, but I would go in with 2 weapons, or maybe a double kick situation, or maybe I'd hit this one and then come back against that one, okay? Many different ways, because once the body relaxes this area and lets it in, it also relaxes synergistically this side as well, because the brain only works that way, okay? So again, to get past it, just double strike.